Home Depot founder Ken Langone, he was right here just 24 hours ago on the intelligence report, and he was firing back against criticism of President-elect Donald Trump for naming billionaires and millionaires to his cabinet. Here's what he had to say. I'd like you to catch it. Many media organizations are very critical of these people, Ken, because they're saying he's bringing in all these billionaires, to which you say what?
To which I say, forget about what their net worth is. Look at them as people and what they've accomplished. Look at them as individuals. Look at them for their integrity and their character and their honor. Come on. Am I to be punished because I've been successful? I hope not.
All right. Well, thanks to yesterday's pick of Wall Street's Vincent Viola as Army Secretary, Trump's cabinet is now worth nearly $22 billion. But you know what? A lot of people worry about that, certainly those on the left. Nearly half of Americans now naming all these wealthy people to the cabinet is a bad idea. Well, once again, I keep asking, what is wrong with being successful in this country? Isn't that what we're about? Don't we as Americans want to be prosperous? You're going to penalize someone or hold that against them? It's working so far for Donald Trump, since the election. Take a look once again, everyone, as we near 20K on the Dow. We're up considerably, roughly 8.5% there. Joining me right now, Trump economic advisor Steve Moore and Democratic strategist Joe Trippi, again, as we stay on 20K watch. It could happen. It could happen in the next 30 minutes here, Steve. When it does, not if it does, but when it does, what do you say to all those doubters on the left that said this would be a disaster? And I specifically remember one economist, Paul Krugman, writing in the New York Times that the market would plunge and it would never recover.
Right. Well, Krugman got it wrong. Mark Zandi, the economist from Moody's, who Hillary Clinton quoted all the time, remember, Trish, during the campaign, because Mark Zandi had this model saying the economy is going to crash and the stock market is going to crash if Donald Trump is elected. They had it all wrong. Look, my line on this, I just wrote a piece for FoxNews.com on the Dow 20,000, and the point I made is, look, this is just the start of something really big. And if you go back, Trish, to the Reagan years when we cut taxes, cut regulations, the Dow Jones went from 1,000 to 3,000 in his presidency. So this could be the start of something really big.
I think really any Econ 101 textbook will tell you this: lower regulations, less in the way of taxes. That is going to add to growth. It just should. But Joe Trippi, you and many members of your party really don't like the idea of all this. You don't like the idea that he's got so many billionaires in the cabinet. You don't like the idea of lower taxes. What do you say to the market that clearly disagrees with you?
Well, I'm not saying I don't like any of those things. I don't think it matters whether somebody's a billionaire or not. I mean, if in terms of whether Trump wants to appoint them, if they're qualified, I sort of agree with Ken, with what Ken Langone said. But on the other
I'm losing you, Joe, so we'll come back to Joe. But Joe, a bit surprising there, and sort of divorcing himself from what we hear many in that party say right now, Steve, because the criticism has been out there. Michael Block's still here with me as well, again, everyone, as we watch for 20,000. So there's been all of this criticism out there. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, to me, Michael, I say, if someone has experience, if they have been a CEO of a major corporation like ExxonMobil, there's got to be something good that can come of that for our country.
I look at Rex Tillerson and I see a guy who's created a lot of value, again, for Exxon stakeholders. I see that. I see a guy who's been very savvy in maneuvering deals. People are saying he's cozy with Putin. I kind of like, Russia aside, I kind of like the fact that someone can get this high level of coziness, if you will, with leaders. That's how you get things done. Once upon a time in this country, Tip O'Neill would have lunch and play golf and spend holidays with families of the other party's people. Stuff got done. It got done nicely, and now we have this partisan nastiness. Tillerson's like ambassador to the world here.
But, I like it. I mean, Steve Moore, he's saying, look, it's kind of good that he's got some friends in bad places, maybe, and maybe Rex Tillerson having this facility with all of these people will actually invoke some meaningful change.